How does the Lydian engine actually create Lydians? Well, all Lydians are manufactured using a common data structure, as I mentioned, called W chains or work chains, and a common methodology. This methodology comprises two concepts: data economic utility and transactional proof of work. Now, we've spent over 5 years of R&D developing and patenting all of the concepts behind data economic utility, transaction proof of work, work chains, etc., and have been literally publishing a textbook of information about these concepts and the underlying science of data economics. So in this session, what we will do is, instead of going into any of these details, we will just give a basic intuition of how the methodology works. Data economic utility basically treats your data like a valuable piece of land, and is similar to figuring out what kinds of resources can be generated from the land. So you can mine minerals, harvest wood and water, perhaps even build structures, and then what kind of monetizable products can then be built from these resources. That is what data economic utility, that function, does to your data. Now, transactional proof of work is the other side, where that is the process you can imagine of mining and extracting these resources from your land, in this case, your data, and then turning them into monetizable product in the form of Lydians through well-defined manufacturing processes, which are basically contained within your Lydian apps. So if we were to take a look inside a Lydian that was created by a Lydian app, basically any Lydian app built on the Lydian engine, we would basically find that it essentially contains two things. It contains structured data called context, which is the data contained within the Lydian. And it contains a set of rules defining how the Lydian was created, how it can be used. And these are embedded into the Lydian itself using programs called machines, which are very similar in concept to smart contracts, but with a few key differences. The key takeaway from this really cool, we love showing this cross-section of a Lydian, is that it actually carries two types of data, two types of context. The data that was used to create the Lydian, called generation context, and all the transactions that this Lydian has been a part of, that's called utility context. Now, the reason I brought this up is because this ability to recall its transactions is one of the key unique features that make Lydians valuable inputs for enterprise applications and powerful economic assets for their owners. So the key concept of data ownership, the fact that the data producer continues to own and control the data contained in a Lydian, even after it has been used repeatedly by the market. The fact that we just saw it carries a transaction history. It carries the memory of every single usage that this Lydian has gone through. And that leads to value appreciation, because the more a Lydian is used, the more provably valuable it gets. It doesn't get depleted, it actually grows in size. And then you have the concept of where the Lydian can actually be created from. We know that Lydians can be created from raw data, but they can also be created from other Lydians that we call derived Lydians. And this is a key feature that makes the VBA contract solution work. And then finally, Lydians are created, used, and transacted by fully decentralized application that gives every market participant visibility and input into the validity of every single Lydian transaction.